My name is Ved Price. I'm the Executive Director at the Alliance for Higher Education in Prison. Between the age of 13 to the age of 29, I did about 10 years total incarcerated. Every time I would come home, just struggled to reintegrate. I don't think I ever was integrated in the first place because I was just in and out from a juvenile anyways. And fortunately, I had parents that really emphasized the importance of education. My dad, he went to Morehouse. He had a law degree. And he was just always like, education is going to be the way out. You need to focus on this, focus on this. And I would get enrolled in school and I would, do a little school here and there. And I was just like, nah, I'm good. I got 10 felonies on my record, like a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, like that doesn't matter. I'm not going to get hired. And so that was kind of a myth or a belief that I held that wasn't true. And so fortunately, I came across people who had gone through the same stuff, made it out, and were doing professional jobs. They were in careers. I was able to see videos and hear stories like this one right here that we're making that inspired me to believe that I could have a career and that the education that I was pursuing and engaged with would actually lead to a job. And I'm somebody who needs to see the proof in order to spend my time on something. So that's some of the stuff that kind of led me into the work that I'm doing now because I saw the value of it. I saw the proof. Our organization, the Alliance for Higher Ed in Prison, we're a national organization and we manage a network of, thousands of people from academic institutions, corrections, reentry, mental health, wraparound services, policy, multiple systems that aren't really built to work with each other. And not many systems are built to work with the prison system in general. And so our biggest goal as an organization is trying to create the space where these people from these different systems are in the same room, where they can interact, where they can be in community with each other. And, I used to struggle with seeing the value in that because I really wanted to see like tangible, concrete outcomes. Like I want to see somebody get housed. I want to see somebody get a job. I want to see somebody get a degree. I want to see somebody get out of poverty. But I started to realize, as I developed in this position that relationships are an outcome. Because we talk a lot about systems alignment, but we don't talk about people alignment that are moving the system. So one of the biggest success stories, and it's tied to the work that we're doing right now, is addressing the exploitation of labor for folks who are incarcerated. And we're doing this under the umbrella of education. When I was 16, I was locked up in Dodge County in this YDC called Eastman, and they had us pick cotton along with other things. I used to refuse to do that because I just saw that as a form of slavery. I just rebelled against doing that labor, and when I did that, I would get put in segregation, get put in the hole. And when you get put in the hole, you don't have access to like visitation, commissary, phone calls, anything. So there were like months where I would go without getting to see my family for visitation, getting able to have phone calls, but I just wasn't gonna go work for free for 12-hour days in the hot blistering Georgia sun. So our approach to it, our strategy is a standard in post-secondary education is having opportunity for an internship, and people who are incarcerated don't typically have opportunities like that because you're incarcerated, so it's hard to get placement with an employer. You can't leave the facility. But COVID ushered in technology inside of prisons overnight. I saw that as an opportunity to start piloting like remote work, internships and things like this. And in tandem with that, I said, maybe they can be credit bearing, but can we make those other work-based learning practices paid? They're like, how much do you want to pay? I was like $25 an hour. And I thought that this would just be like, never, no way. But we were able to pilot that and do that in Maine. We've done it in Kansas. So now we've used work-based learning to address prison labor exploitation. And so there's, a handful of states that are doing this work now. People are getting paid anywhere from $25 an hour all the way up to, in some cases, $100,000 a year. And the success about that is that people are coming home after doing their time with money in the bank to pay for their own housing, pay for their own reentry, pay for their own transportation. They don't have to go beg somebody, whether that's the government or a wraparound service, to subsidize their housing. And so for me, this is kind of a paradigm shift in the way that incarceration can look, because right now recidivism sits at around 70% nationally. And I would beg to argue anecdotally that if people weren't being released with $0 and no job history after doing 10 years in prison, that they might have a better opportunity for success. Something that keeps me motivated is just seeing the work blossom, seeing people come home, have their families, being with their families, seeing people reclaim their being, their joy, their happiness. or hope. You're in these dark places where you can't see the light. You can't see any opportunity. You know, I think one of the biggest drivers for like suicide is not having hope. So seeing people have hope alone, it's a good feeling to see that and know that that's still possible.